There you go. Yeah.
This is a patch of 9.4. Oh, no, these are all the same. No, they're.
Yes.
Every once in a while. That's nice, very nice. Well, thanks for yeah.
Yes.
I'll take these out.
Let me hang out. That's fine.
Shootout.
Oh, awesome. That's very nice.
Three. I didn't realize the season started, but there's.
What? Sorry, I'm not trying to.
You're like,
Yeah, so tomorrow, which is I'm sure is gonna be a Monday, you know, the same guy is gonna go back to. Yeah, so, well, you know, Point of Park, it's just south of USFCB.
no.
Essentially,
Okay.
so they're having a big, the.
4, 5, 4.
So right next to that.
Oh.
So they're having this every thing, so obviously the Point of Park, nothing's probably gonna be a washout, but the inside stuff. This is like the kids can go to. So, some people probably.
Yeah.
Like there were 3 things I wanted to do.
Yeah.
2 of them were outside and also probably should make me.
No, but you're coming on 3 last night. Oh, thanks. I'm like, oh. What, no, and then a 3 and 3, it went past the 3 and 3, because there's 2 rounds of overtime. Yes. If nobody scores in the 3 on 3, then it goes to the shootout.
I actually like watching.
It was tense, yes, because
Don't
it's,
they do, didn't they do that the one year in the,
But I only met my dad.
All-Star game, whatever?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tense.
So she stole
It's
that.
like, yeah,
Yeah, she won't make me.
scary.
Shocked it went that far last night. I really am.
I,
Shocked that nobody scored it until
Yeah.
it went almost, 4 rounds.
She didn't want anyone.
yeah, and the shootout, I know it was amazing.
And no one knew why.
Good old Stammer though,
Yeah,
I love him.
I don't wanna do it. because I
well,
don't wanna
he went
do
top
it.
shelf with that guy, that goalie, even Rask had no chance.
No, it was a perfect shot, like right up there in the corner, oh my gosh.
That's one of my least favorite teams too. I do not like Boston.
Oh, yeah.
Because every game they play.
It's one of
I'm in
those,
the Penguins.
you either love them or you hate them. One of those.
Yeah, like, I mean.
And Marchand, he's just.
He's terrible. Come on, there has to be ramifications for that. He knew that time was running out, so he deliberately grabbed him around, who had Brady Point around the neck and tried to do damage. There has to be repercussions for
There never is for him. He goes around and licks people.
that. Well, he doesn't
Well, you know
anymore.
that, right?
Rule now, they had to make an NHL rule. Because of that.
You know what he did? You know about that, right?
Watching the Penguins is like watching, boxing, on how they do fight.
So Boston likes to do it too. Yeah, I was surprised.
Conversation going in the middle of it.
So,
It's called, I like seeing the physical part of the game, but now when it's the whole
The
game.
next time they play each
Fight.
other, there's gonna be something, what's gonna happen.
I don't care for.
All right, so,
Business.
we were okay with a few of your proposals, which I've given you TA copies for, and TA in my own right now. We've got a couple of counters. It looks like the director didn't come through on that wording, which I apologize for, but I'll walk through the changes. The first one is on article or section 9.1, faculty work week. We put, just sort of something that had newly come up or sort of newly occurred to us here, is that there are some Saturday classes being offered at the Porter campus, which faculty members, may do. So we just wanted to put something in there, kind of preserving the concept of a weekend for them. So just that the work week is spread over no more than 5 consecutive days, unless the faculty member doesn't want the weekend that badly, that's, up to them. So that was the first thing we inserted. Then we changed duty days to on-campus days, just because based on the conversation, that sounded kind of like what was intended there. And then the last change we made was we took out the last sentence because we didn't think those people were in the bargaining unit. So that's not necessarily in disagreement per se, but we didn't think that was something that was relevant to our bargaining unit.
I thought there was a few that were included. Kayla?
I have the perk paperwork, but it was the welding, the fire science, and the law enforcement are not in the bargaining unit. I don't know if that refers, is that what those refer to?
Nursing.
No, there's also technical programs
Oh, okay,
and
then I
health occupations
misunderstood
as
that.
well.
I misunderstood that.
No.
Yeah, and some of them are under typical 9-month contracts. They're not all managerial technical. Some are.
Okay.
You're right, like for law enforcement, fire academy, they're considered managerial, technical. They're not, they teach, they have teaching requirements, but they're man tech. But I think there are some of those positions, and I know there's at least one welding position that is a 9-month contract.
Right, but the welding's not in our union.
I don't know whether the person joined or not.
No, the welding is not in our bargaining.
No, they're not even in our bargaining. They're not
Can't
in
change.
Okay.
We do have a welder instructor license, you're an instructor, I think there's one.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought he
That would
was
cost
just those guys.
The other one's your instructor coordinator.
I can look at that.
I believe there's one welding instructor, the other ones are welding coordinators.
There's one, well, actually, we have 3 now. There are 2 that are on 9-month contracts. There's one that's instructor coordinator is a managerial technical position. They have the title instructor coordinator, it's a man tech.
I'm pretty sure there's one pure welding instructor.
Yeah, but, whether the person was, welding was excluded or not, I don't know, but
I didn't get the paperwork from PERCUP, but I didn't understand that, like LPN, LPN and surge tech, those are considered PSAP, and I didn't know that, and they are in the bargaining unit, so we need that sentence back. Sorry about that.
PERC certification does exclude welding instructor and coordinator.
Yeah.
Law enforcement corrections instructor, coordinator.
And the fire science.
fire.
But the surge tech and LPN, those are in the bargaining unit.
so that
They're
last
PSAP.
sentence needs to be added.
So
back.
maybe we
Okay,
put it
put it
in
back.
bargaining unit
In the bargaining unit,
for
yeah,
post-secondary adult technical who are in the bargaining unit or something like that.
sure.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Okay, the next one with some changes is 9.4. So there were kind of a few things, a little bit of rearranging, a little bit of trying to catch the discussion we had, but I don't think the intent was to introduce anything controversial. The first thing we did was take out in the online part the with advance approval of the faculty member supervisor. not to say that faculty members aren't gonna have the right to, as you'll see in the next paragraph, require adjustments for whatever reason, but we just kind of started writing that in so many different places, and rather than give the appearance of having to have approvals for so many different things, we just want it to be approval. And so paragraph B is sort of newly inserted here, but the idea is that, as long as faculty are scheduling office hours at reasonable times, there shouldn't be an issue, but, if faculty members not scheduling their office hours at reasonable times, then, the supervising administrator can sort of look at that and say, hey, what are you doing? You need to, do something a little different, so. As we talked about, it doesn't seem like it's been a problem so far. I don't think we anticipate it being a problem, but in case it does, we think this should, give the flexibility to take care of that problem. Finally, in C, we added a sentence. We're okay with, kind of the discussion we had about, we give some office hours to students on the first day, but then those may change depending on how things go. We don't think it's, unreasonable that sort of same tentative schedule will be provided the first day of class. As long as faculty members have the right to, amend their office hours accordingly. Again, everything, of course, subject to approval, but trying to kind of capture what we're doing without, or capture what's reasonable without, making either party feel like they're going to have to do a whole lot of extra or different stuff in order to get things set. And we took out the sentence about maximizing availability, just because we addressed that in the previous paragraph. So we just didn't need to say it again, we thought. So again, just really trying to catch the discussion we had. I don't think our intent here is to do anything wildly different. Finally, on the childcare section, we just added a sentence at the end, basically saying that, faculty members should get, when there's vacancies, faculty members get priority on those vacancies over just, random people off the street. Not asking that they have priority over other employees or students necessarily, but, just essentially over people who are not part of the college community.
And that is the staffing, priority again, it's students, faculty and staff, then outside. So, and again, we meet with the childcare regularly every quarter, and I'm not aware of any log lists they have of faculty members who aren't being provided the opportunity, so.
Well, in the event that it might happen.
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
here.
again, the priority is that priority.
Right.
The interesting part is we made them start breaking down outside community, and some of the outside community people are really considered some alumni still. A student who was taking classes, graduated, but then after leaving now and going out to the working world, they're still having their students stay there until they reach the age where they can no longer be in childcare. So again, a large percentage of the people that you think are outside are really still alumni students who are keeping their children after they graduate. So those are different things we are monitoring. And as slots do open, again, those priorities of student, faculty, and staff, and then outside community.
Right. Yeah, I don't think our proposal is to kick anyone out who's already there for any reason. It's just whenever there's a vacancy, it sounds like we're really just trying to codify the existing policy. The Weingarten rights one, I mean, didn't really have issues with it sort of on its own merits, but that was something that we also talked about in the discipline article, which is still kind of up in the air. So once we figure out where we're landing on that, we just may want to make the same changes to the 14.19 just for consistency's sake. But we didn't have any real issues with it. It's just,
Say that again, Graham.
So the Weingarten piece is also addressed in discipline, which isn't settled at this time. So we're not, opposed to anything you put there. It's perfectly reasonable. But once we kind of figure out where we are on discipline, I think that will sort of just be a domino to fall after that, just trying to make sure we don't get on different tracks and two different pieces of the contract. That's what we got right now.
We can we'll probably take just a few minute break, to talk about these three. In the meantime, I did send you some potential dates.
Yeah, we'll
Go
take a look
around,
at
it's getting a little more difficult to have everybody, but I don't think we necessarily need everybody, probably either side. But take a look at those, and also maybe look at, the next one's 2 weeks away, so I know we were looking at, college mail system offices, I think. Or 2 or 3 we're looking at that we didn't quite finish up. Might be able to do for next time around. But if there's others that you have too, why don't we take maybe another 5-10 minutes and come back and address these?
Yeah, we can look at that while you're looking at the proposal.
Hey, can I bring one other thing up? I'm gonna request a modification of our MOU for the Committee of Compensation to allow 3 faculty members in addition to the chair, because administration has 3 members plus the chair, and so it's unequal. And so we're just requesting an MOU change to make sure that there's balance.
Or just in agreement that that's fine, either.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm trying to figure out too whether or not I don't know that we're terribly opposed to it. I'm still thinking that that group is more gathering data and things of that nature as opposed to being official or voting on things, so I don't know. I'm a little concerned just because of what I've seen in back and forth trying to get everybody together to meet. You know, we've got the accreditation thing going on now, which is causing some issues. Let's talk about that. We don't have a date yet set, right? I know there was some
He's kind of
kicking
new
around.
polls, I think.
It's important to us, I know we kicked around to make sure that at least the first date that we have everybody there, at least on the administration side, presumably you guys want the same. Other dates down the road, maybe it's not as important if not everybody's available. But that first one, I think that was the concern of trying to go forward earlier this month. We weren't all available. We being around.
The other thing too, Gary, since this MOU actually did go to our district board of trustees for approval, we're to make a modification that we need to go back to them for approval.
I'm
The
gonna
next board
request that.
meeting is in November,
I'm requesting that.
so that means we may not be able to come together until January. Because you got Thanksgiving and then you have everybody trying to finish up the end of the semester.
I will say that, if I may, for the work group, I think the purpose of the work group is not I think when we were hashing out the details of the work group, we're not voting on anything. The purpose of the work group is actually for us to just gather data. And we're all representing PHSC in that gathering of data. So because we're not voting, I guess the part that I am struggling with is the need for an equal balance, because any data that you're pulling isn't to the detriment of us. Any
No, I
data that
understand
we're
that.
pulling isn't to the detriment.
But committees
fact.
should be balanced. And so it's just, it's the principle of it, I think, more than anything.
I agree with you if it was voting.
You know, I think that there should be that one member. And if you want to do this, let me propose this, if we can't get it through the board. Could we send another representative to that first meeting, which could later be as part of that committee? So as an observer during the first meeting. And then till the board of trustees can actually approve it for that person to be a member. So I don't think to me, I don't know why there would be any hesitation for honoring our request. I just don't see, I mean, because you're right, it's not a voting thing, but we just felt that we would like a balanced group.
And I agree, I get what you're saying on that one. I think on my end, I look at it in the same vein and say, well, I don't see why there's a hesitation for not continuing the meeting and having the structure as is, because we're not voting on anything. So it's in the same spirit that you're proposing. I think that we can still move forward, still gather the data. If we're voting on something, I will absolutely understand where you're coming
I
from.
have to voice what's been told to me by the faculty,
Understood.
because I'm coming as a representative of the faculty, and a number of people thought that it really should be an equal number, even though it's not a voting thing. And just maybe the principle of it, but you can do whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, but I'm just asking you on a request.
Ideally, if that was going to be an issue, I mean, that wasn't addressed initially, because I think this narrative, and I mean, it was signed off on. So everybody agreed to this, and it clearly states in Article 1, the Human Resource Director, Darrell, then 3 representatives by the union and 3 representatives by the employer. You know, that was there, there's nothing hidden there.
I think that if my memory serves me correctly in our discussion when we set this up, really, I think the kink in the, to address your concerns for balance, was that, initially it was just listed that I was going to be the chairperson. Right. But I think that with the input, or with the addition of having a co-chair, I think that's where, and that was at the request, at which point I'm not opposed to having a co-chair for it, because again, we're not voting for anything, so that's the reason I'm like, it makes absolutely sense.
Both of you could motivate each other.
That's correct.
So I think it's actually good to have a coach.
That's correct. So I think that's the reason why you have the.
I understand that, and it was probably an oversight on our part that we probably should have asked for that balance then. You do whatever you want. I'm just voicing the opinion of the fact that.
This should not be used as a delay in meetings, regardless, Ed, all right? We'll go forward with 4 administrators and 3 faculty and meet this semester. We need to go forward with this, okay? To suggest to delay because the Board of Trustees has to approve our request should not be a reason for not meeting anyway, all right? Absolutely. We need to get this done. This is a huge deal. We need to get it finished, so we need to go forward. We'll go forward with the 3 faculty and the 4 administrators. If you want to bring it to the Board of Trustees to approve the 4 and 4, that's fine in January, then we'll have 4 and 4. But we should have our 2 semester meetings with 3 and 4 anyway. That should not be a reason for not meeting, absolutely.
No, I agree with that.
It's important.
I think just for a quick clarification as well, it doesn't state that it is 2 semester meetings. It just says we have to meet 4 times before the end of the academic year. So that's the language.
Let's get realistic though. If we put these all off until April, we're not going to meet 4 times.
It makes sense to do it
We've
based
already
on.
put it off until the middle of October.
It makes sense to do. I just wanted to make sure it's
I thought it was
clarified based on
understood that we met twice a semester. That was the idea of 4 twice a semester. Is that not written in there?
It's not. It
It's
says
not
4
written in there. I
times.
think the concern we had was, there was discussion, I recall, doing it twice a semester. I think we might have taken it out just in case it took a while to get it off the ground, but obviously we want to get it moving.
Yeah.
I think part of the problem was it's vaguely written and different people were interpreting it differently. Because that chain of letters that I saw, Jorge, dealing with you and Ed, and I think Brian got in it too. I think there was some interpretation on one person's part reading into it, and then somebody else goes, well, I don't read that. So it's vague. And so that, I think that's your first meeting. That's something you need to set is, okay, these are the rules, these are the procedures, this is, we won't meet if we can't get a quorum or whatever. But I would suggest that first meeting, that's the first thing you do.
But I think that's where, I think
that's
that's
why we want everybody to be there at that first meeting. That's my vision too, this exact same thing, that make sure everybody's on the same page. You don't have to agree on everything, but at least everybody's on the same page, and then the rest of it, hopefully, is a little more smooth.
And we can at least agree that it's in everyone's best interest that we get that first meeting going as soon as
Yeah, I do
possible.
too. I think, I'd like to see it go.
Let's take a few minutes.
Absolutely.
Just maybe 5 minutes.